going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made this beautiful, smoky, juicy, rotisserie smoked chicken. Ooh, coming up. Chicken, an essential part of any backyard pitmaster's arsenal. It's super cheap, readily available, incredibly easy to cook, and there's so many different ways to cook it. So far on the channel, we've done half birds on the Mini ChudBox, kind of Snow's barbecue style, crispy skin, spatch-cocked chicken on the offset, incredibly crispy skin chicken thighs. We fried chicken wings in beef tallow, but today we're gonna do a whole bird. That's right, folks, we're throwing a rotisserie into the Mini ChudBox, cooking a whole chicken, and it is going to be delicious. This is a chicken. Just your standard chicken from the grocery store. I took it out of the package, patted it dry, and hit it generously with some kosher salt, and then let it sit in this tray uncovered in my refrigerator overnight. I've talked about dry brining in several of my chicken videos, but what it really does is it allows the salt to penetrate deep into the meat, giving it nice tender flavor in every bite all the way through, as well as being uncovered overnight, giving it this really dry skin, which is going to crisp up really nicely. Not an entirely necessary step, but if you have the foresight to think about it, it's always worth it, because when you're cooking chickens over fire, crispy skin is really what you're after. So to finish this off, we're going to hit it with a few more seasonings and then get that fire started. Before we go seasoning this up any further, we're going to tie it off just to make sure no pieces go falling off or flailing around during the cook, using a nice long, much longer than you think you need, piece of butcher's twine. And we're simply enough going to go right under the back here, come across, give it a nice X. Then we're gonna go under the drumstick again, making sure it's nice and tight to hold together. Crisscross it one more time. Then we're gonna flip it over, at which point we're going to go underneath the wings. Get that wingtip out of there. Crisscross it again, and then we're going to flip it over, tying the wings to the body itself. We're gonna tie this off, and that way everything is nice and tight. It's a nice little chicken bundle, and we're gonna just tie a knot. Maybe we'll do a double knot just to be safe. Snip off the ends, snip the tip, and there we go. A beautifully tied up bird, nice and tight, ready to hit the rotisserie. So because this chicken is so dry, we're gonna need a bit of a slather to help the rest of the spices stick. You can use whatever you like. Any oil would work really well. That's gonna help you get that crispy skin. And the only room temp oil I have on hand is this duck fat, which will work perfectly because we're gonna keep playing on the whole poultry vibe we're going on here. So I'm gonna just take some of this and I'm gonna rub it all over. Just get it everywhere. And again, this is mostly just to help the seasoning stick, but also once it gets over the hot coals, this will all kind of sizzle up, help that skin get nice and crispy. And if any of it drips off, then we're just gonna have duck fat dripping onto the coals, creating some super flavorful smoke. So I'm just gonna lube this guy up in every direction. Boop. And then we're gonna hit it with a rub. Our rub is going to consist of 1 part 16 mesh black pepper, 1 part paprika, and 1 part garlic powder. Couldn't be easier. Just gonna mix that up, get it nice and combined. And then, you guessed it, we're just gonna give this thing a nice even coating all the way around. You could add some crazy flavors to this rub if you like. You can add whatever you want. You can make it out of curry chicken. You could add some sugar if you wanted that kind of a vibe. Add some mustard powder. Whatever you want to do. Just don't add too much salt to it because this thing has been thoroughly salted. And just like anything in barbecue, I usually like to start on the back side and then finish on the front, which is your presentation side. But this is a rotisserie chicken, so I guess every side is kind of gonna get the same amount of heat. Nice heavy coating on there. Can't really overdo it. This is gonna cook off, drip off. Once the skin splits, we're gonna see some bald spots no matter what, but might as well get at it. And that is looking perfect to me. I think it's time to fire up the pit. 2 seconds later. Nice and toasty. As for the rotisserie itself, I picked up a pretty cheap one on Amazon. It came with this motor and this spit. 2 hooks, real simple. They're pretty universal, so you can pretty much use them on whatever cooker you've got. But basically what we're gonna do is take the chicken, put it onto this skewer here, shove these 2 hooks into it to hold it in place, and let it spin. Simply enough, now we're gonna take our skewer here and go right through the old hole. Take spike number 1, go right on in, trying to estimate the center point as best you can. And then on with the most adorable chicken of all time, right onto the spikes. Yeah! Spike number 2, going on this way. And again, we want to just get right into the meat, that way nothing falls off or moves around. Tighten them off, make sure the placement is right. And then the spike goes right into this motor here, which we're gonna plug in, turn on, and this thing should start a spinning. And there we go. Beautiful. So we're just gonna let this spin for the next few hours, rocking a temp of around 300 degrees, and we'll check in a little bit. 2.5 hours into this cook, and this bird is done. I just temped it in at a range of 165 to 175 in various points of the chicken. So I'm gonna take it off. We're gonna let it rest for a little bit. But first, I gotta get it out of this contraption, which is super easy to do. Easiest way I've found to go about it is just leave the spikes intact. Oh, it just wants to come off anyway. Yoink. Look at that beautiful color. Oh, I tell you what, smells so good. Now we gotta let this chicken rest after we pull this bad boy out of there. Very nice. I'm just gonna wrap this in a little bit of foil. We're gonna let that rest for just a little bit. The foil is gonna kind of mimic the plastic container that they put all the chickens in at the grocery store to give us that rotisserie chicken authenticity. So, I will see you in like 20 minutes. All right, after resting for a little bit, it's time to carve into this bad boy. And typically, you know, I'd throw a bunch of butter on top of this thing, make it nice and extra juicy, but I kind of want to see how this whole rotisserie chicken bit looks. Au natural. And so far, it's looking pretty good. Starting off, we got to get rid of that string. Well, that just came off, so that means we know it's tender. And again, folks, no matter what cooker you've got, you can find a rotisserie for it. I had to drill 2 small holes into the side of the ChudBox to make this work. The one I bought, and most of them I've seen online, come with a little hook that just kind of clip right into the lid of whatever smoker you've got, whether it's a Weber kettle or whatever you got. So this is definitely something for a fun weekend project. Let's see if this other wing pops off just as easily. Yep, sure does. God, this smells so good. Come on. We call this pitmaster floss around these parts. So to carve into this thing, I'm just gonna go at it leg by leg to start out with. Pretty easy. Just a little bit of skin connecting this to the breastbone. Find the joint. If you want to, you can kind of pop it. But when it's cooked like this, it wants to come apart. Ooh, no, that's juicy. No. Oh my God. Yep, that's good. Let's see if I can do this left-handed just for the camera here. Oh, don't even need a knife. Come on. All that crispy skin. I mean, we all know the best part of a rotisserie chicken is that skin. And this is reminiscent of that. With some charcoal flavor on there. God, that is good. Also, on the back, once you get that skin off, right here, this is known as the oyster. If you just pop your thumbs in there, you can just pop these little morsels out. You only get these if you cook a full chicken. If you spatchcock them, they get a little lost because it looks like a little oyster, and that's a super tender, dark meat bite. Just a little snack for the chef. Wow, that's really good. I'll save this other one for Brooke. I'll put it under there to keep it safe. From here out, there's many ways to carve a chicken. You can go right in and remove the carcass this way, or you can go Thanksgiving style and slice it. I'm just gonna try and peel it off the carcass here. See if I can pull this off in one foul swoop. Beautiful. That's how chicken breast should be served, folks. Skin on, nice and juicy. Look at that tender wants to fall right off. And if you're ever in the market for pulled chicken, oh, found some skin, hold on. For a buffalo chicken dip or a chicken salad or something, we all know the rotisserie chicken is the way to go about it. Brooke, you gotta try this oyster. I just hid it away for you.
Good God. That was freaking delicious.
All right, Brooke, we got this rotisserie chicken.
I'm so glad you had me for this one because you know I love a chicken.
It's so easy, so good. What do you want? You want a leg? You want a breast? You want a
this chunk right here is saying.
Oh, the rest of that oyster, yeah. Have at it.
But it's so juicy, like not a dry piece in sight.
Just gonna go for it. It's falling apart tender, which is crazy because usually to get this kind of tenderness, you really got to shoot for like 180, 190, but this was...
I'm gonna go for this bad Larry.
165, 170. There's just something about a rotisserie chicken that tastes different than any other chicken. I think it's because while it's rotating, all that fat is just kind of rolling around and basting it. But it's just a different essence than any other cooking method.
Yeah, that's good.
So easy too.
Yeah, what did you pretty much just throw it on that stick and
throw it on the stick?
Make fire?
Make fire. You nailed it. You just summed my job up in 2 words.
100% I'm gonna have a chicken salad sandwich.
We should make a buffalo chicken dip too.
I bet you there's something in that dip book.
That's true. I'm sure Bonton's got us covered.
I'm sure.
You want a wing for the road?
Okay.
Bye. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make a rotisserie chicken. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to let me know by hitting that subscribe button. I highly recommend giving this one a try because there's just something so special about a rotisserie chicken. Super easy to install, super quick cook, and that flavor is unbeatable. And also, there's a lot of things you can put on a rotisserie other than a chicken. But if you do give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at ChudsBBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Head over to ChudsBBQ.com for all pit inquiries, wait lists, and all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see me cook next. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace!